People who volunteer, as this lady did, appreciated by the teaching staff. All the teachers in the school, when they are all together, they are the staff, the teaching staff. There could be 20 teachers in the school, or however how many, that they comprise the teaching staff. You would have the principal, the chief of the school, and the staff, the teachers of different subjects. Principal and staff will meet at 2 o'clock in the school auditorium for a meeting. Any questions about the words?
Seem to be young women trying to reorganize about education in school.
School's overall improvement. Reorganize and correct or improve whatever the situation is. Make it better. So they're in an effort to, she's in an effort to help the school improve in many different ways. Her work as an aide in the classroom, a teacher's aide, A-I-D-E, was greatly appreciated by the teaching staff.
The school overall, one word or two words?
Overall.
Improvement. Two words, right? One word overall.
Overall. Overall improvement. Overall effort. Overall improvement. Any other questions about the words?
Staff. You can say the people drink beer cannot.
Staff?
Yeah.
By the teaching staff?
Yeah.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
The people I drink beer.
The people
Yeah.
in the class, or the people who work at the school, or the staff?
ไม่คือมันมีคนนั่งกินเบียร์เฉยๆมันบุคคลนะ
What's he trying to say?
Good morning.
Good morning.
ใช่แต่บุคคลนั่งกินเหล้าเฉย
He think the drunker,
บุคคลใช่ไหม
the person,
บุคคล
somebody drink the beer, drink the alcohol.
Drink beer?
เนี่ย
How do you get drink beer out of teaching staff? What, I don't understand.
Not the same, not guy.
Yeah, well, teaching staff and drinking beer are, I don't think they're,
Different world.
I don't understand what you mean by that. Drinking beer,
the staff I don't know
staff.
yeah
No, staff has nothing to do with drinking beer. At least that I'm aware of anyway.
He mean the person.
The staff?
Yeah, the
Well-
person drink the alcohol.
People that drink alcohol are the staff?
Yeah, the person.
ได้เหรอ
He
No.
says,
No. That's nothing. That one thing there has nothing to do with this. I mean, right, a member of the staff can drink beer, but that doesn't make him a member of the staff. I mean, that's two different things entirely. They're not very closely connected. Any other questions? Overall improvement. The overall improvement is the whole school trying to improve. Not just one class or two classes, no. The whole effort that the school is making, try to improve all different aspects of the training of the students. Any other questions about this? Okay. Overall improvement, greatly appreciated.
อย่างไรเป็นโรคธรรมดาแก่
Donate.
ดูเด็ก
Teachers aid. Contribute. Volunteer. Okay. Time for one more here. The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. Okay.
Nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy and provide and assistance in the event of a natural Leicester,
Disaster.
Leicester, many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
To serve the nation. Assistance in the event of a natural disaster. 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 A natural disaster. The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation. Okay.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Volunteered to serve the nation. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation. Okay.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation.
Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve in the nation, to serve the nation. Okay.
The national army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Right, very good. Volunteered to serve the nation. Okay. Right. Go ahead.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster.
Right.
Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation.
Right, very good, very good. Against any enemy, and provide. Don't forget the V sound there. Provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation. Okay, sir.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy, and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. disaster, many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Right. Many men and women in the country volunteered. Volunteered. Volunteered to serve the nation. Protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. Okay.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens
Against citizens against any enemy
and provide aid and assistance in the event of natural disaster.
Right.
Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Right, very good. To protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. Okay.
The nation's army was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and assistance to the event of natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Right. Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. Natural disaster. Provide aid and assistance. Okay.
The nation and was formed to defend the country in the case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteer to serve the nation.
Right. Volunteered to serve the nation. Provide aid and assistance in the event of a natural disaster. Okay.
The national's
Army
was formed to defend the country in case of attack, to protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and
assistance
in the end of the natural
disaster.
Many men and women in the country volunteered to serve the nation. Volunteered
to serve the nation. So, the nation's army, the military, the army in this case, was formed, was put together to defend the country, to protect the country in case of an attack by an enemy, to protect its citizens against any enemy and provide aid and assistance, to help, to give aid and assistance, to provide help in the event of a natural disaster. What is a natural disaster? A natural disaster.
such as tsunami, such as
A natural disaster. An earthquake? A tsunami?
Tsunami.
Anything like that. A tidal wave? Some horrific natural disaster. Something that you can't predict is going to happen. An earthquake? All of a sudden an earthquake. A tsunami. Or some great a storm. Destroy. Yeah, a natural disaster. Some like a hurricane, a tornado, a typhoon, an earthquake, a tsunami. Anything like that, they would provide aid and assistance to the people that were victimized by the natural disaster. Many men and women in the country volunteered to join up to serve the nation. Any questions about this? Natural disaster. Something that occurs through nature, a storm, a typhoon, tsunami.
Japan has happened now. Japan has.
Right, in Japan. Typhoon.
50 persons were down.
Any questions about this?
Here we can say country conversation. Country conversation.
Country in the country?
Country no conversation. CIT yes conversation.
Protect its country. Or, yeah, against any enemy. Protect the country, protect the citizens. Same idea. Same idea. You're protecting the citizens and protecting the country, or you're protecting the country and protecting the citizens, one or the other. Any other?
Teacher, we already heard staff several times. Staff in Thailand called staff many times, several times.
Staff?
Actually, staff, right? Actually, staff. But Thai people call staff.
Well, staff, I would stick with staff. Staff. Well, yeah, maybe, a little bit. Any other questions?
Please repeat the sound of again.
Against. A-G-A-I-N-S-T. Against any enemy. Protect the
sound of again. Please repeat again.
against. So you're protecting the citizens against any enemy. Against. To go against something. Any other questions? Okay, we'll pick it up tomorrow from this point. Okay. If you have any questions that come up during the day or tonight, bring them up in the morning at the class when we start.
Follow tomorrow.